YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I appreciate the support and the love that I've gotten from all of my subscribers here on YouTube. I actually don't take it for granted. So I want to say thank you so much. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to actually calculate and cut. Yes, that's a better way of putting it. Calculate and cut a cone peplum. So you could see cone peplum, they are these are kind of peplum that if you really want a, a statement, when I mean statement peplum, you can decide to go for cone peplum. They have been in vogue for like forever. Now you can use them for children dresses like the picture up there. You can use them for adult dresses also. It gives you a very good fitting and a very structured effect of a peplum. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. It's not really difficult. So I'll teach you how to calculate it and then cut it out. Okay, so if you are new to my channel, if this is the first time of you coming across Stylish Naija YouTube channel, I will appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button and then hit on the bell also to get an update whenever I upload a new video. So that's just like basically the essence of hitting on that bell. Okay, okay, yeah. Okay, so if you want to register for my online classes, which I normally run every month, so you could see my number scrolling through the screen, so you can send me a message. Presently, I have about 6 different classes. I have the beginners class for those of you people that don't know how to sew, that just want to go into sewing, and then we have an intermediate class for people that can sew already, and then we have a trouser and jumpsuit class if you want to know how to sew them perfectly well, and then we have a corset class for people that want to learn how to sew a perfectly covered corset, and then we have a ready to wear class for people that want to go into ready to wear, to how to size your dresses, how to measure them. You can, if you want to be selling dresses online or in shop, so you can set to register for that class. And then we have an advanced class for people that can sew, that just want to upgrade their sewing skills. So okay, so let's just continue right now. So in this kind of peplum, so from the picture above, if you want to do this kind of peplum, there are some basic calculation that you have to put in place. First, the first calculation that you're going to put in place is your waist measurement. That's your peplum waist, which is the your radius. That's your round waist measurement. So let me just write it down. The waist. So you are going to put that into consideration, and then how many cones do you want? So you could see them from the different pictures. You can do 7, you can do 10, you can do 15. Depends on how much fullness you want on your peplum, so that will decide, so that you just choose how many cones you actually want to cut out. So for this class, I think we should do about 10 cones. Let's do 10 cones, which is okay. So and then you have to put that into consideration, because that is going to help you also in your calculation, and then your zipper allowance, and then the stitching allowance. So these are like the basics. So I'm just going to readjust my camera now, and then let's start doing the calculations. Okay, so now let's do the calculation of our cones and our peplum. So earlier on I did a rough sketch here, so I'm going to explain what I did here for you to, so you'll be able to understand it properly. So when you want, like I told you initially, when you want to calculate this kind of peplum, this cone peplum, what you are going to put into consideration is your waist measurement. So your peplum waist measurement. So for this, my waist size is 30 inches. So I have my 30 inches. And then you know that when you are cutting peplum, you are going to add 2 inches allowance to it for your zipper allowance. Depends on how many inches you normally use. So I'm going to add my 2 inches. So I have 32 inches already. 32 inches. This is now going to be my peplum waist size. So the next thing you are going to put into consideration, you are going to know the number of cones that you want. So it depends on, you can decide any number of cones that you want. So for this class, I'm going to be doing 10 cones. So I have my 10 cones sitting here. So this is the number of my 10 cones here already. So from these 10 cones, what you are going to do, you are going to add allowance. We're going to stitch all of them together to form the 32 inches waist for our peplum or radius, whatever you choose to call it. So what you are going to do now, you are going to determine how many inches you are going to use. Depends on what you normally use as your stitching allowance. So if you are using quarter of an inch, you add quarter of an inch on each side, on the total side of each cone. So for this, I'm going to add half of inches on mine. So at the end of the day, the 10, I'm going to have 5 inches. That's once I add all of them together, I'm going to have an extra 5 inches. So that 5 inches, you are going to add it to your 30, to your waist measurement. That's to your original waist measurement. So I'm just trying as much as I can to make this tutorial easy so you understand the calculation. So I'm going to add it to my peplum waist measurement. So when I add it plus my original waist plus my zipper allowance and the stitching allowance, now I'm going to have 37, because I'm adding 5 inches now that I'm going to use to stitch the peplums together. So I have 37 inches. So this 37 now is now going to be my waist. So because I want 10 cones, I'm going to now divide this 37 into 10. So when you divide the 37 into 10, I'm going to have 3.7 inches here. So this is 3.7. So this 3.7, I'm going to divide it into 2 again, but I'm going to just stop at this 3.7. Let's use our pattern paper from here so you understand more. So now you take your pattern paper and then you are going to determine the length of your peplum. Peplum is normally half cut. So for mine, the length of my peplum plus the allowance, everything that I'm going to do, my peplum length is 11 inches. So I'm going to add 1 inch for my allowance. So you see my paper is measured at 12 inches. So this is like my half cut now. That's my peplum cut. And then the next thing I'm going to do now, you're going to determine the width. That's the down part. This part is actually optional. So you can decide, depends on how wide and full you want your peplum to be, your cones to be. So for this, I'm going to use, if you are using 7 inches, at the end of the day, it's going to be 14. So we're going to do 7 inches or 7.5 inches. Okay, let's do 7.5 inches. So this is going to be our width. So I think I will just trim it off. So that's the down part. And then for this top part now, normally I'm supposed to now add my 3.7 here, but I'm not going to add my 3.7 because you see my pattern paper is folded into 2. So that 3.7 that I got from dividing my waist by 10, I'm going to still divide it into 2 because my paper is folded into 2. So when you divide into 2, I'm going to have 1.85. So it is 1.85 that I'm now going to bring. That 1.85, if you I'm just going to try as much as I can to approximate it. If you approximate it to 2 inches, your paper might have excess, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to approximate it to 2 inches like this. So you see what I have here. So from this point now, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to make a straight slant. It is a very simple process. So I'm just going to take it like this and then I'm going to slant it to this point like this. I'll slant it to my 7.5 inches. So because I don't want my peplum, the down part of my peplum looking straight like this, because if you notice, you see all of them, they are curvy. So I'm going to come up on this side. So you can decide for this part, you can decide how many inches you want to come, just to give your peplum a very good curve. So for this, I'm going to do 2.5 inches. So from this point like this, I'm just going to mark 2.5 inches here like this. And then on that 2.5 inches, I'll just use dotted lines just to slant it into this part. So at the end of the day, here's what you are going to have, just to give that peplum a very good curve at the down. That's your cones. So you see what you are going to have. So you see that the down part now is looking like what we have. So the whole of all these parts now, we're going to cut out. So that's how very simple this peplum is, the calculation is. So I'm just going to cut it like this. And then I will cut like this. So all allowance is already included here. So I really don't have any excess. So at the end of the day, so you see what we have. So now I'm going to cut out 10 of this. 10 of this. So I've already cut out one, so I'll use this one now. I'll just keep placing it on the other ones, and then I'll cut the other ones out, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so I've cut out all of my pieces now, so I'm just going to use this fabric first to illustrate for you. And then, so you take your fabric like this, and then you just, for let me use my original pieces, you are just going to place it like this, and then you will cut it out. So even the lining also, you are going to cut both the lining and the fabric the same way. So you note that all of the allowances are already included. So for this now, you are going to take them like this, and then you are going to pad them. You are going to pad it with your interfacing, so because that's what will give it that bulkiness. And then after padding, you are just going to stitch all of your pieces together. So you see the way it is like this. So you cut out 10 pieces, and then you start joining them. So you see at the end of the day, when you join them, all of them, they are going to form those cones for you. So my own pattern paper that I use, because I'm not stitching, I'm going to use my paper tape to glue them together, and then I'll place it on the mannequin, so you see how it will look at the end of the day. So thank you so much. Okay, so at the end of the day, so after everything, so you see how our cone peplon is looking like. So if you want it smaller, you can decide to do, like I said, 12 inches and 12 cones. You can decide to do 14, 16. So it depends on how big you want it to be, and then how much fullness you want. So for the one of 10, so you could see how it is looking. So this is how you actually cut a cone peplon, or a panel. You can still use the word panel PEPLUM. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, I would appreciate if you hit on the like button to make me know you appreciate what I did with this video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you.